Now, coming to you live from atop the Lavender Town Radio Tower, it's the one, the only, PUCL Podcast.
It's PUCL! PUCL! It's PUCL! PUCL! Pokemon Underground Champions League, oh yeah! PUCL! PUCL.
And welcome to the 486th episode of the PUCL Podcast. I am your host, Trainer Thatch, here today with my co-host, the co-host with the mo-host. We've got Lord Jushiro.
Some say it's Jushiro.
And we've got R Sigma, as knowledgeable as always.
Hi, I woke up today.
You did wake up today. Welcome to the PUCL Podcast. PUCL, of course, standing for the Pokemon Underground Champions League, a nonsensical name we came up with in 2007. And we talk everything in the Pokemon franchise, from the video game to the trading card game to everything in between. Pokemon Unite's in there somewhere, I think. Today's topic might not be, actually, but we'll find out. One day we'll
get Unite. I'm excited to talk about it.
I think Unite's pretty close.
It's gotta be, right?
If they just did a beta in Canada, and the beta finished up in Canada, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So if they just did a beta in Canada, I can't imagine it's too far off from release, because Canada's like baby America,
right? Baby America.
It's like, well, I mean, like in terms of culture.
Yeah, I got you.
Canada's essentially America, except they've got like universal healthcare, but that's a different discussion.
I mean, you could actually put like you can't share this content, and you can control it better in Canada. You're not going to control it in America.
Really?
Well, no, I'm just saying like a closed beta is more likely to work, right?
Oh yeah. Well, I think there's fewer people as well.
Yeah, there's fewer people, and you can manage it a little better.
Somebody asked about a closed beta happening in the US, and my immediate gut reaction is like, no, a closed beta in the US is just a release. That's what it is. It's just a release.
It would be an open beta.
Yeah, I think
and they will sell it for $40 on Steam. If it weren't Nintendo, sorry, but that's what they do.
Well, no, they're going to send it for
betas.
It's a free-to-play game.
It's a free-to-play game. It's free-to-play, but if you want to probably keep your champions, Pokemon between seasons, you probably got to pay.
There's also a battle pass, so
yeah. We'll see how it goes. I'm sure it'll come out. I mean, it looks fun. I'm going to play it when it comes out.
I'm going to play it. It looks fun. I've never been one for MOBAs, but this one looks a lot of fun, so I'm willing to give it a mega try.
I think to get me into any kind of game in general, if you like any style of game, if you still have like the Pokemon skid on it, I'll probably try it. Mm-hmm. And it might open me up to games I wouldn't have otherwise played.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if that would work for Pokemon Legends and Breath of the Wild. If people play Legends and they're just like, I want more of this, and they play Breath of the Wild. I don't know in what world Pokemon becomes the gateway to Legend of Zelda, but the imaginary one in my head, that's the one.
Okay.
I mean, they have a lot of good choices for Pokemon in there that aren't just Gen 1, so I'm excited.
I'm happy they're doing something in not Kanto. Like, could you imagine the number of groans you would hear if it would have been like, yes, Pokemon Legends. It's taking place in Kanto. And everybody, you see those noises
like
you just
I did
made?
right there.
You see those noises? Yep. That would have been 100% what it would have happened. The community's tired of Kanto, and I'm included in that. I'm also tired of Kanto.
I mean, even some of the Kanto choices are cool, like Slowbro. I'm really happy to play as Slowbro.
Yeah. I'm interested to see. I know the leaks have talked about it being a slightly different combat system.
Mm-hmm.
Compared to what?
It's so you played Masters, right, Jushiro?
Yes.
So I forget what they call it because I'm not like up on my RPG slang.
Mm-hmm.
But what it is so instead of just like our standard turn-based mechanics,
right,
which I hope is what's there because I'd rather just have that and not have any other problems. But what I've heard the leak is it's some kind of system also based on like energy type deal, like where each Pokemon can like fill a gauge faster based on whatever move.
Right.
So like there's some timing element to it as well.
Mm-hmm. Some resource management.
Yeah, I'm not a fan, mostly because the reason I like Pokemon is because I don't have to worry about those things.
Mm-hmm. For the PowerPoints.
Yeah, but PowerPoints are way easier to manage. My thought is Pokemon I like playing because I can set it down in the middle of the battle and I won't miss anything.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I won't have to worry about pressing the button at the right time.
It's not like the TCG where you just can't attack because you're missing that one energy.
Yeah, so I'd rather not have to deal with like some kind of mechanic like that. I can see them having tested it like in-house.
Right.
But I don't know if they would actually like push that out.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. They do that a lot though, because like if you look at some of the old things, so the original reason Pokemon had 4 moves back in Gen 1 and Gen 2 was because of memory limitations.
That's what the cartridge led them?
Yeah, it was memory limitations. So when they went to the Game Boy Advance, Junichi Masuda's on record saying this. He said that they tried experimenting with 5 moves to see how that would change the game. And they're just like, wow, is this horribly unbalanced?
Wow, just for adding 1 move. Interesting.
Yeah. And so they're just like, we're only going to do 4. We're going to keep it to 4. And I think it's the right choice. If you look at a lot of Pokemon, like on the competitive side, if you try to add like a 5th move, like that just opens up so much for a lot of Pokemon, because so many Pokemon have quote unquote 4 move slot syndrome.
Right. Mm-hmm. And you can see in how and our topic might actually touch on this, how other games try to do the Pokemon formula and have like a whole like, choose attack, skill, and you hit skill, and there's a whole menu of attacks, and it's just not the same. There's something about the way Pokemon is built that it's just makes it a lot more just fun. It's just I think
Pokemon's a lot more accessible than other games, but I don't want to talk about it too much because I don't want to steal from today's topic. But
I mean, they've been trying to add the 5th move for like the past 2 gens with Z moves, and Max moves, but it's not quite the same.
I think that's the way that you do it, though. The way they have tried.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't mind if more Pokemon got like the Ultra Necrozma, you get to use this move once kind of thing.
Yeah.
You get a signature move. That would be an interesting way to go forward. It's like
that's a lot of signature moves.
It is. It is.
That's a lot of signature moves. I couldn't imagine that being a nightmare.
I mean, you could do something like where, all the fire starters get the same fire move, and it's physical or special based on what Pokemon it is. Something like that. Everyone gets G-Max Wildfire.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm really over the idea of new moves at this point after dealing with both Z moves and Dynamax.
Right.
I'm really hoping they see the light and they're just like, man, everybody liked that Mega Evolution thing we did that one time.
Mm-hmm.
And they're just like, maybe we should just expand upon that.
Yeah.
And then everybody has like a sigh of relief, and they're just like, this is wonderful.
And then you wake up.
Well, I think that's like overall for the franchise. Like, I understand this want to like try to expand Pokemon, and I don't know. Maybe this is just me being an old fogey who really likes nostalgia or whatever. But I would say that Pokemon didn't do anything super interesting
until Gen 6.
Yeah, for like the first 15 years of its existence. I would say up to Gen 4 specifically, there were no major updates, except for like a few baby mechanics things that should have been the way it was. And this might be that I'm just like Pokemon purist or whatever, and that's just how I'm thinking. And I don't know, people might complain that like, oh, it's stale, but there's a really good, this thing's like from like 2007, early YouTube days. There's a guy named Blunty. I'm sure other people are aware of Blunty on YouTube. And he used to do little Lego video, like skits, like Lego anime. And he has one where his friend is making fun of him for playing Pokemon or something. And he gives off this like beautifully written rant about why Pokemon is the best at what it does.
Yeah.
And how it doesn't need to change its formula. And that is 100% how I have felt the entire time as a Pokemon fan. Like, all I need, like, shove 70 new Pokemon in my face and make up some new gym leaders, and I'm good.
Yeah. Well, that's the point, and why so many people were like, oh, Pokemon's just the same every generation. It's just, well, the point of Pokemon is not the story, it's the monsters, and what you can do with them, and that's where the game really keeps fresh.
I think you're hitting on it, like, almost directly on the head. I think Pokemon's been more about the Pokemon themselves this entire time. And I think that's part of the reason why Dexit was such a big deal when it happened.
Yeah.
Because they're essentially like, we don't understand that this is a thing. And they're just like, we're going to kill off more than half our cast. And I still feel that way to some extent. But hopefully they remedy something like this in the future. We'll see. I imagine at some point they're going to be like, oh, this game has all the Pokemon in it. Ha ha ha. And it's like a big deal. It's a big deal, like on the 30th anniversary or something like that.
Yeah.
That's kind of how I feel.
Or even just like next gen. But
I don't think it happens like that. I think gens is also like a horrible way to start thinking about it. I don't know. Pokemon seems to be moving in a direction. I understand it more. I don't know if I like it a lot, but I feel better about it seeing the pace that they're coming out with games and the fact that they actually did pass off BDSP to an outside developer.
Yeah.
And they're letting somebody who's not Game Freak touch it so that they can make things happen more quickly. Like, I don't have a problem with not all of the Pokemon being in every game, as long as there are games coming out so that you can play as every Pokemon in a quote-unquote rapid fashion.
Right.
And that means faster than their, like, one game a year nonsense. Like, if you can get it so that, like, within every 2 years you can get every Pokemon, like, I don't have a problem with it.
Yeah.
Or at least transfer those Pokemon in. That's all I care about.
I mean, more and more, we're reaching to a point where games need a constant updating. Like a community that people just come back to because there's updates and they're releasing more monsters and more characters and stuff like that. And I think that's the formula that Pokemon actually might take advantage of.
That's what they should take. That's what they should take advantage of.
It's what it felt like last year.
That's what it felt that they were going to do. Yeah. And to some point, it's closer to what they've done. Yeah.
It feels kind of stalled out. It's like, I would say up until the end of Crown Tundra, like they were doing real well. And then the fact that they didn't announce any more DLC makes me go, oh, okay, this is over now.
Yeah.
Which kind of feels bad. Because Sword and Shield was staying alive, at least for me, in the regards because they had the DLC.
Right.
I think they could have done another DLC if they didn't put the Legends in right away.
Yes, I agree with that.
I think that's what they needed to do. If they didn't put all the Legends in, if it was just like the Birds and the Musketeers, and then you had another DLC that did Dynamax Adventures, I think I could have seen it. But you got the Legends, so...
Yeah, as soon as I saw the Legends, I'm like, this is probably over, but the only thing I could see superseding the Legends is Megas. Like, in terms of hype. Like, hey, you can go to this island, and you can get Mega Evolution, and it's like, cool, okay, that makes sense. And then we can put the rest of the Pokemon in that are missing for Megas. And maybe give like Urshifu a Mega for some reason and call it good.
Give the G-Max Pokemon Megas. Mega Garbodor.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just a thought. But this is a good place to end it. We're going to go ahead and kick it on over then, guys, to the news. So let's cue that epic music.
Live from the Lavender Town Radio Tower. This just in.
And welcome to the news. In the news, we have a few things to talk about. First being that there's been new Pokemon Snap information. New Pokemon Snap information. That's what I should say.
New. Kind of like the new something
the new 3DS,
whenever Nintendo.
The new 3DS. Which is a ridiculous name. They need to I hope they fired that PR guy. I really do. $20, my friend. That the next Switch is going to be the new Switch. I don't. No.
Never again.
No,
never again.
Nintendo as a company almost feels completely different than it did when the Wii U came out.
Okay.
At this point,
the Switch isn't called the Switchy with two eyes at the end. I think we're.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Oh, could you imagine that? They would totally.
The Switch.
The chances that the Switch with two eyes was a potential name for the Switch at any point is higher than I'd like to admit. Like the chances that was ever on the table. I'm sure somebody thought about it.
That's great. That's great.
But back to new Pokemon Snap news. There will be voice acting in it and gyro controls, so modern day conveniences. Okay, you got me. The courses will have multiple routes and day and night course variations. So there's reasons to actually replay the routes instead of just play through it once until you get the Pester Ball and you can open up the door.
But here's the question that no one seems to be able to tell me. Will we have Professor Oak again going,
No, unfortunately.
We have Professor Mir now.
We have Professor Mir.
Professor Mir.
Oh, no. Okay. Well, it is what it is.
Do we not have Professor Mirrorless? Because, you can get a mirrorless camera. But moving on. A new scan feature, which will register the Pokemon's name and gender and allow them to remember you on future reruns of the course. That sounds interesting. You make friends.
That is interesting.
I like that.
Yeah.
and the new Illumina Orb item to lure Pokemon out. We already knew about this. They talked about it. So yeah, it's interesting. I'm excited. It's Pokemon Snap. I'm not like overexcited about it, but I'm also like, this will be a good week.
It's a good experience. Yeah.
Absolutely. I'm very excited to play it. I'm going to play it on stream. It's going to be a good time. So watch out for new Pokemon Snap content. You know, we're going to make all the guide for it and just play through the game. I mean, I'll play it so you don't have to if you're really that interested.
Exactly.
That's the answer.
It is a rail shooter, so watching it on stream is basically playing it.
Yeah, a little bit. If you like Time Crisis, this might be for you. All right. So the next piece of news is the video game battling news. We'll let Sigma take this one.
All right. So as Players Cup 3 is currently still going on, Players Cup 4 has been announced for VGC, TCG, and everybody's favorite Pokken.
Why is Pokken still happening?
To be fair, this is only the second time they've done it for Pokken, I think, because they skipped the first two.
They did skip the first two. They did. I still don't know who's playing it.
I don't either.
It's like 8 people in general in the world.
Sounds about right.
Keep humoring the same 8 people in every tournament.
Like, why would you play Pokken online? Because if you have lag, you're screwed.
Oh God, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I don't understand the type of person that's like, yeah, I want to play Pokken in an online tournament when I can go play like regular real Pokemon.
Yeah. Anyways, the qualifier is going to happen April 8th through the 11th, so you can sign up now until April 8th when it starts at 7 o'clock at night or whenever it is. The rules are going to be Series 8 to qualify, which means the one restricted legend. Hey, if you're playing in the PFTT, you've got a team, so cool. That said, rental teams usually aren't allowed for these, so you have to have it.
You have to have it, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Top 256 from most regions except for Oceania with the 128 because they don't have that many players.
Mm-hmm.
Will advance to Swiss rounds this time in June, which is different from double elimination in that you get to sit there all day and not qualify if you get 2 losses instead of getting to leave when you get 2 losses. So
that sucks.
Right? Like if you hit 2 losses early, you just drop.
This sounds awful. This absolutely sounds awful.
Like, you don't keep playing. You're not going to make top 16.
Wait, so when does the TCG Players Cup start?
It starts at the end of it, April 26th.
Because I want to get in on that, and I know that means I have to log into my actual account and not the PUCL account.
Yeah. Log in to your TCG account before the 26th of April.
Okay.
And that gets you your keys. And this time, instead of giving people a paid like stipend to go to an international, you get prize money.
Yay!
For TCG and VGC, you get 5,000 for first place, 3,500 for second, and it goes down from there all the way to like the top 13th, which I believe encompasses all of the top 16 because top 16 is double elimination. So
I do not like when they actually give out money because I feel that automatically when you add money to any game, it automatically the community becomes much more toxic about it.
A little bit.
I would say that the prize money has never been a big deal in general for Pokemon tournaments.
Yeah. Especially when you're playing online, so it's not like you can cheat.
Yeah, the money's also not a crazy large amount, right? Like,
right.
It's like true. 5K for first. The amount of effort you have to put in to actually make it to first place.
Yeah, is less than 5K. You're not doing a lot with that 5K.
No. It's very difficult to cheat in these because they're all open. Mm-hmm. Like, it tells you the team and all the moves on it if you're playing VGC, and it tells you the entire deck list of your opponent if you're playing TCG in the Swiss. Yep. So, like, you know what you're playing against. You can report them if you see something. Also, Pokken gets, like, their prizes start at $1,250 because it's Pokken and there's, like, 10 people.
I don't know who's playing this game. If you are playing Pokken and you're going to the Players Cup and you're listening to the show, like, email me. I want to know who you are.
Mailbag us. Yes, we need to know.
Puclpodcast@gmail.com. I will interview you. I will interview you on this show. I will interview you. You can tell your life story and, like, we'll promote you. Like, I just want to know. I want to know. But yeah, that's Players Cup nonsense.
But do you know what else do you need to know?
Pokemon Go.
It is the time of the Pidgeys and the Beedrills. Spring is here, and in Pokemon Go news, we are jumping into Spring, which is the event that has been announced and will run on April 4th through April 5th. You will have the egg theme, of course, that is Easter for Pokemon, which means that we will have a spring theme encounters including Flower Crown, Happiny, Chansey, and Blissey.
Ooh.
I know you guys are super excited about this.
I haven't opened Pokemon Go since maybe September.
Yeah.
It's nice out now, so I might play.
I'm almost through my first set of Shiny Mew missions.
Ooh. I might open it and start playing it again now that it's warm out again. But I just like when Mega Evolution came out, it put a bad taste in my mouth because I'm just like, this is just another thing to try to have to chase after, and I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I think I've done one Mega Raid ever, and I'm like, this is not worth it.
There's just so much going on in that game that you find like you feel like you're missing out. This is from somebody who like wants to jump back into it sometimes, but then it's just like, there's too much going on.
Yeah.
And I mean, I think this shows it, as well as like every other event that we ever talk about.
Mm-hmm.
I probably will jump back into it because they finally made Community Day like good again.
Mm-hmm.
Snivy's been announced as the next Community Day for April, and I forget the April 11th. And it's going to run from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. Perfect hours, by the way. I'm so glad they extended it from 3 hours to 6 hours, and I hope they keep it that way.
Oh, it's so nice. It's so nice.
Any Snivy evolved into Superior is going to learn Frenzy Plant, unsurprisingly. And there's going to be 3 times Catch Stardust during the event. So I will probably go out and I'll probably reopen Pokemon Go in in time to play Pokemon Go for the Snivy Community Day, because the Community Days are good. I don't have a Superior. I haven't played a lot very recently, especially after Gen 5 came out. The starters are always so hard to get.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I'm going to steal this one from you, Jushiro. Or Sigma, I don't care who it is. Male Frillish is also going to be the Research Breakthrough reward for April, which is, again, a decent one.
Yeah, because I believe Male is currently locked to playing Go League. And
yes. Pokemon, I got into Pokemon Go League a little bit, and then when they're just like, Megas are going to be there, I'm like, no. No. Not anymore.
All right. I guess I'll close it out.
Yep, close it out.
Spotlight hours for April include, which are 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. local time.
On Tuesdays, right? Just Tuesdays.
It's on Tuesdays. Tuesdays at 6 to 7. We have Baneri, which probably is going to get an Easter Mega. So, get your Baneris. Then we have Mankey on the 13th, Grimer on the 20th, and Pinion on the 27th. They all have bonuses. Yeah. And then Tornadus Therian is coming to 5-star raids very soon and going through April 13th, followed by Landorus Therian afterwards.
Yay!
Which is more important because there's currently a special research that the second quest requires you to take a picture of Landorus. So
fun times.
Yeah.
And that is it for, I think, everything. Mm-hmm. There's no real PUCL news because PFTT is starting. Mm-hmm. And I don't know that anything else is happening. We got to do a PUCL showdown at some point.
Yeah.
We should do that.
We have a meeting coming up. We'll talk about it.
Yeah, we do have a meeting coming up. We'll talk about it. All right. So with that, I think that's going to be it for the news this week. A short news segment this week. Shorter. But we're going to kick it on over to PUCL's Poke Quiz. We're going to quiz your co-host on their insane Pokemon knowledge.
Oh, hi, and welcome to the Poke Quiz, the part of the show where we quiz our co-hosts on their insane Pokemon knowledge. I'm Mark, here to explain the rules. Our fabulous co-hosts will work as a team to answer 5 Pokemon-themed trivia questions that fans have submitted on the Discord server. Each question is worth 1 point, with Pokedex and multiple answer questions worth more, for a total of 7 points. The hosts can use a free hint at any time. If they get all the answers correct and do not use the hint, they can cash it in for an 8th point.
And welcome to PUCL's Poke Quiz, the part of the show where we're going to quiz your co-host on their insane Pokemon knowledge. Thank you to Mark of the Dunsparce Gang for giving us that introduction and explaining the rules. So without further ado, guys, we are going to go ahead and give you your questions. Your first question,
Sigma.
Your first question this week, neither of them are easy, is going to be from Sir Missing No. Which generation introduced the most female-only Pokemon?
What? Okay.
Things such as Wormadam is 3 forms are going to count as just like one Pokemon. We're talking species clause here, not forms clause.
Yeah.
Okay.
So female only. So Gen 1 has...
Miltank.
Does Nidoran female count as female only?
Yes, it does count as female only.
Okay. So that's 3 plus Kangaskhan plus Jinx.
That's 4.
Or that's 5.
Nope, sorry.
Yeah, that's a decent number.
Yeah.
Gen 2, does Gen 2 have any other than Smoochum?
I don't think so. Not that I can recall.
Oh, Miltank.
Oh, I said it. Yeah, Miltank, yeah.
I don't think anything else is locked to female only.
No.
There's a lot of things with male only, like all the genies. And yeah, that's weird. I think it might be Gen 1,
I think so too, because otherwise that I can try to remember only that are female only.
Gen 4 has like Vespiquen. Gen 4 has Wormadam.
Right. Can't recall anything other than that, though. So let's go with Gen 1.
Yeah.
Generation 1 is correct. They have 6 female only Pokemon. Nidoran female, Nidorina, Nidoqueen, Kangaskhan, and Jinx you all listed, but you did not include Chansey.
Oh, okay. So Blissey would be in Gen 2, Happiny would be in Gen 4.
And as a fun fact, Generation 5 has the most male only Pokemon with 7.
I believe that. The genies are 3 of them.
Yeah, Sock, Throw, Rufflet, Braviary, and the 3 genies. So,
gotcha.
The more you know.
Gen 1 has like Tauros, the Hitmones.
Yeah.
The Nidokings line.
So you guys are 1 for 1. Our next question is going to come to you from Trainer Sleeves. What is the only bug-type Pokemon line that can have the ability Chlorophyll?
Leaviani.
Leaviani is correct.
I'm just gonna go grab a cup of coffee.
Every single Pokemon with this ability are grass type and weak to fire attacks, which have increased power against under harsh sunlight. So it's a lot of fun.
They die.
They all die too. They all die if they activate Chlorophyll.
Yeah, if they don't have the Chlorophyll ability, they just die of hunger. They just wither and go away.
All right. So your next question is your Pokedex entry question, as always. So this one is going to come to you from Skullmane Banky. Its Pokemon Heart Gold entry states, it collects data and plans 3 times as wisely, but it may think too much and fall into a state of immobility. Who's that Pokemon?
I
collects data. I think that's key.
Like I'm thinking like Kadabra.
What is it? Kadabra maybe? One of the is the.
I'm leaning Kadabra. But if it's not Kadabra, you can give us a second hint.
Yeah, it is not Kadabra. All right, it's Pokemon Fire Red entry states. An odd species that is rarely found. The 3 heads, respectively, represent joy, sadness, and anger.
So it's Dodrio?
Yeah. Dodrio. Yeah, weird. Wow.
I don't think it's Dugtrio. Dugtrio's heads don't have separate personalities.
No, yeah, it's definitely the trio, but it collects information. Wow, okay. Well, what do you think? What other 3-headed Pokemon do we have that they do the smile, sad, and happy?
That would be Gen 3 and earlier. Like,
yeah, I don't. Other than Dodrio, I don't remember any other.
Yeah, I'm okay with saying Dodrio.
Dodrio is correct.
Okay, I was gonna say unless it's Executor.
You guys are 3 for 3. Your next question is your multiple answer question. The way this is going to work is I'm going to give you a question. It's going to have multiple answers. You need to lock in every single one of your answers before we can verify whether or not they are correct. You get 2 strikes. On the 3rd strike, you are out. You are done. And you collect the points in which you've acquired. This week, we're going to take it from the Taskmaster himself, Liger.
Ooh. Challenge accepted.
A possible 3 points for this question. Liger wants to know, what Pokemon don't have a hidden ability but can evolve into a Pokemon with one?
Oh, I'm out.
There are 6 answers here. For every 2 answers you give me, you'll get a point.
Okay, so I know one is Ferroseed into Ferrothorn. Ferrothorn has anticipation, Ferroseed does not.
Are you locking that in?
Yeah.
That is correct. That is one.
That is the one I know. No, that's the opposite direction. I was gonna say Vibrava, but no.
What about the bugs that have cocoon in between?
That might be the case. Like, I could see Tinted Lens being on Caterpie and Butterfree, but not, like, Metapod. So, yeah.
Okay.
Metapod?
Your Metapod is also correct. That is 1 point total.
Oof.
That's 2 correct answers.
Okay.
Do you want to try the other bugs?
It's just the ones that make sense to me, because why would they couldn't have the same hidden ability as their cocoons as they have when they're fully evolved.
Yeah.
So it just makes sense.
I mean, some of them might work out, but, like, I know, like, Metapod doesn't have Tinted Lens. Right. Let's try one of these. Silcoon.
Silcoon is correct.
Oof.
So Cascoon.
Cascoon is correct as well. That is four. That is 4 answers, and that is 2 points. There are 2 more Pokemon.
Bagon probably has the same hidden energies, abilities.
Well, so it's not if they have the same hidden ability. It's if the previous evolution doesn't have a hidden ability, and then when it evolves, it does get a hidden ability.
Right. Shelgon, sorry, not Bagon. Shelgon wouldn't have whatever.
Shelgon, I believe, keeps whatever its hidden ability. No, it doesn't. Or no, it has a different.
Oh, it has it, but it's just different. Okay, gotcha.
I think that's the case.
That's the case for Shelgon. Okay. Well, who else? Who else has a useless middle evolution or useless basic? I mean, useless basic would be pretty much everyone, but a useless middle evolution that couldn't possibly have a hidden ability.
You do have the hint as well.
Ooh.
But we've gotten points for everything so far.
That's very true. That is true. You could go for the magical 8. Yeah.
What do you think?
I don't think I know anything else.
Does this guy, the little from Hitmon top? No, he has a hidden ability, right?
He has an ability.
Okay, the baby form. Okay.
It might be something with Levitate that evolves into something without Levitate. Like, like Gengar doesn't count because it doesn't have a hidden ability.
Right.
That's my guess on what it is. I just don't know what it is. So
right. Do you want to
need some answers?
Yeah, I don't think we could guess. What is it? Not the evolved form of Scatterbug if we wanted to.
You do have 2 strikes. You could always try that, but
yeah, whatever that thing's name is.
I don't remember.
Like, I know that the Gen 5 bugs, I believe, keep their hidden abilities all the way through because they were designed after hidden abilities.
I'm gonna need answers.
I just don't remember what Scatterbug's evolved form is.
Spewa is incorrect.
Spewa. Okay. What about
2 more strikes, then you're out.
Okay. I'm thinking. Shoot, I just don't recall. It's just hidden abilities have never been my strong point.
Yeah, especially like Gens 1 through 4 hidden abilities that.
Yeah. Yeah, let's just go for the hint.
I think I'm willing to give up.
All right. Giving up. So that is 2 points for you guys for that question. So you guys are 5 for 4. And the 2 you were missing, I'm very surprised you missed one of these, is Kakuna. You never answered Kakuna.
Okay, yeah.
I was going to ask Kakuna, and I didn't because I thought that Sigma had mentioned him.
And the other one is Pupitar.
Oh, okay.
So it's pretty much everything that's a cocoon.
Yeah, I guess that, at least.
Everything that's a cocoon.
And also Ferroseed. And Ferroseed. Who looks like a cocoon.
He looks like a Ferroseed. All right. So our next question is your base stat question, as always. This one is going to come to you from Poliwo. This is an interesting question. What Pokemon used in the Elite Four by any Elite Four member has the lowest base stat total?
Oh.
So my first guess would be Sableye. Because Sableye is real bad.
But base stat compared to the other Pokemon it has, right?
Well, compared to
every single Pokemon ever in the Elite Four.
What about Lance with Dragonair?
That's pretty bad too. Here's a question. For Gen 1 Pokemon, are we counting their current base stat totals?
Yes, we're using their current base stat totals.
Okay, so they do have a special attack and special defense.
Okay.
Who? Onyx maybe is an option too?
Yeah. Onyx is an
Onyx
option.
is real bad.
He is real bad.
Do we want to use our hint?
Sure.
This
Okay.
Pokemon was used in Generation 3's.
So Sableye is... Or actually... Oh, darn. It could be Celio, too.
Yeah, I'm not too familiar with Gen 3's.
But I think Sableye still works.
I'm going to need an answer.
You gonna with Sableye?
I guess so.
Sableye then?
Sableye is correct.
Nice.
Sableye has a base stat total of 380, making it the lowest of any Elite Four members' Pokemon ever. The next star is a tie between Bruno's Onyx and Aaron's Dustox. Aaron's one of the Diamond and Pearl Elite Four members, which has a base stat total of 385.
I forgot Dustox made it into an Elite Four.
That gives you guys 6 points for today.
Yeah.
Which is
Nice.
good because that means it's a 3-way tie to first place with P. McGee.
Yeah.
Yay! Unless I got it wrong. I don't know if I misremembered P. McGee's total from last
Well,
week.
we'll find out next week.
I'm sure
Next
somebody will yell at me in the Discord server. That is it for this week. Everybody else has yet to get on the board. So, race to first. Whoever gets there gets their $25 credit to PokemonCenter.com. So it gives Thatch an excuse to get free shipping for his stuff. All right. So, that is it for Puckle's Poke Quiz. If you want to catch up on more of it, tune in next week. It'll be here, same place, roughly the same time, which is whenever you want to listen to it. We're going to kick things on over now to the topic. Hey guys, make sure to check out the Puckle YouTube this week and see if you can catch our Soul Silver Puckle Plays Nuzlocke, where we're going to play Soul Silver and we're going to Nuzlocke it, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So make sure you head on over to youtube.com/PucklePodcast. And welcome to the topic. Our topic today is going to be games that tried to be Pokemon but couldn't be, or better known as Pokemon clones. There's so many of them. I've played a lot of them as a child.
Me too.
I imagine we all have. We've all played them to some extent.
Monster collecting is in our blood. It's just what drives us.
No, we have Pokemon brain. That's the problem. And all of these has been bad in so many different ways. Like, there's such a graphical style to the early ones, especially. Like, I would say, so things like Dragon Warriors Monsters 1 and 2, and like Robopon, they attempted to copy like the Pokemon art style when they became games. Robopon, disgustingly more so, but they tried to copy the Pokemon style, but it feels like such a cheap knockoff. I don't know how you make the sprite art feel like a knockoff, but they did it.
It has that Gen 1 feel to it.
It does have a Gen 1 feel. Like, I would say it feels like Gen 1, but I would also say that there's something wrong with it. And I don't know what it is, but if you look at the screen, you're just like, I don't know.
We should probably explain for what system this game's came out in.
Well, so they're Gen 1, right? So it's Game Boy.
Game Boy
right?
Color.
Game Boy Color. I think some of them were Game Boy Color exclusives. If I remember correctly, I believe, and I could be wrong, that Dragon Warrior Monsters 2 was a Game Boy Color exclusive. It might have, I think at least during development it was.
Sounds like it, yeah.
I'm thinking about the cartridge, like, as a kid, and it's just like this black standard Game Boy cartridge.
Right.
And typically the Game Boy Color cartridges were special so that you knew they were Game Boy Color games.
They often were clear, if I remember right.
They were
But
clear, and
the
they had
big
like a little bump up top instead of the divot.
Yeah, it's just like how the new 3DS games had.
Have the little
Something
notch.
special
Okay,
to-
3DS,
yeah.
DS to 3DS games are dumb, but that's a different story. It looks like it didn't. So what they did is it used to be on that, but it looks like in development they split it into 2 parts. This is the one that I remember the most, is Dragon Quest Monsters 2. That's the one I remember the most back in the day.
Yeah.
And I remember not liking it because of the capture mechanics, if you could call them capture mechanics.
I think that's going to be the a main theme throughout all of these games. Is just the capture mechanics are never that good, and it's part of why Pokemon is so good. Is because they were able to manage a very fun and just a better capture mechanic at most of these games. I used to love Dragon Quest Monsters. It even had breeding from the get-go, right? It was a weird breeding, but it was still breeding. There's a lot of good things that you can take out of these games. They just never were able to reach that Pokemon level, which Pokemon just perfected.
Well, no, Dragon Warriors Monsters 2 came out before, or came out after Gold and Silver. It was like 2 years after. There's so many issues with that. Yeah, I also don't like, they had breeding, like Pokemon breeding, where like, Well, not like Pokemon breeding at all. It was like you bred them and then you got something completely different. Which is fun and interesting. The same. And I kind of, like when I was a kid, that's kind of how I hoped that Pokemon breeding would work. Unfortunately, that's not how it worked at all. Fortunately or unfortunately. I mean, I like the consistency of Pokemon. Like you don't go to McDonald's because you're just like, oh, this is going to be the best burger I ever had. You go to McDonald's because you know it's going to be an okay burger.
Right. And when a dog goes on label, it doesn't pop out a cat or a bunny.
Yeah, and that's kind of what I think about like with Pokemon. Like I go back to Pokemon because it's the McDonald's of my monster catching RPGs.
Right. Do you want to make Whimsicott you know that Whimsicott has an issue with evolutions that don't match up.
Yeah. No, it
Imagine
gets like really
they start
weird.
having kids that don't match up.
It's absolutely really, really weird because it has a ton of monsters. Mm-hmm. But like you end up like sacrificing 2 monsters to get 1 new one, and that's essentially how the breeding works.
That's fusion.
Fusion's a better word to put it. Fusion's a better way to put it.
It's kind of like Shin Megami Tensei games where it's, you have these monsters, you fuse them together, get a new monster that's better stat-wise.
Yes.
And they inherit the skills of the old one. Shin Megami Tensei is another one that's kind of Pokemon-ish, but not quite.
Not quite. I wouldn't say it is exactly.
It's a Japanese RPG with a Pokemon feature in it, let's say, but it's not overall a monster collecting game. That's not its first and foremost feature that you buy that game for.
There's like a dex to keep track of everything.
Right.
You do battle exclusively with monsters.
So like Digimon Cyber Sleuth has the same thing.
I was just gonna say, I was gonna talk about Digimon. We can't have this discussion without actually talking about Digimon and how they're run in games. And I love Digimon. I played every single game. But they have the most
I'm so sorry.
They have the most roller coaster ride of regarding their games. Most of them are really bad. There's 1 or 2 that are going to be really good. The Cyber Sleuth one is the closest you can get to Pokemon wise.
I agree with that.
Yeah. If you guys want to talk about the world, which is the other one that is more Tamagotchi mixed with Pokemon, because as we know, Digimon started as an actual Tamagotchi thing, and from that it converted into everything else. Those are really good. There's a new one also for PlayStation and I think Xbox called New World Order.
There's something coming out.
Yeah, which is basically the first game which you guys, for those of you at home that played that first, in the first game, Digimon World, you would have to feed, and your Digimon would die, and you will have to like start from scratch, but every time it would die, it would like resuscitate into a stronger version of the Pokemon. So you have to, not the Digimon, so you have to start all over. Anyway, all that to say, great game, just not Pokemon, definitely not Pokemon, but still one of the most fond monster collector games that I've had in my life.
So you're saying they were Chow. Got it.
Yeah, essentially. I would honestly like equate a Digimon game closer to Chow than Pokemon.
Yeah, honestly, yeah.
I've never played too many of the Digimon games. I played Cyber Sleuth. I have played Cyber Sleuth.
Yeah, Cyber Sleuth, I really recommend A New World Order if you guys want to check that out. It's a lot of fun. And the fact they have to feed and like take care of them like they were pets really does make it a lot of fun.
I liked Cyber Sleuth for what it was. I wouldn't say like, oh, this is better than Pokemon or anything.
Oh no, yeah.
The battling mechanics confused the heck out of me. I still don't know what's happening when like they do like the X cross. Like I've played the whole game. I don't understand what's happening. It just happens sometimes. I have to
go through that game too.
It just happens sometimes, and I don't know how the mechanics are working. I have no idea.
Well, speaking of weird mechanics, let's talk about Yokai Watch, that legendary Pokemon killer that everyone was worried about.
I would say Yokai Watch's mechanics or almost, well, like not the battle mechanics. The battle mechanics were poop.
Were awful. It's what kept me from enjoying the game going forward.
The capture mechanics weren't revolutionary either. Like I want to see somebody straight up just like copy the Pokemon capture mechanics. Looking at you, Temtem. Just like steal the Pokemon capture mechanics and use it in their game in a new and interesting way.
Right.
I honestly, the one thing I think Pokemon should do, and maybe we'll see it in Legends, and I doubt we will, but Legends is the best place to do it.
Yeah.
Because we've got our steampunk Pokeballs, and like I want Pokeball crafting like now.
Oh man, yes.
I literally, so that you could just like, hey, I'm gonna shove like this special apricorn and this apricorn together, and
And make this Pokeball?
Make this Pokeball with these properties. Like certain apricorns have certain Pokeball properties, and you can combine X amount of them together, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I think that would be I think the Cramorant was like got us halfway there, but then it was like a lazy finish.
Crafting definitely should be in Pokemon.
I would love
one feature I'm just surprised they haven't added after so many years.
Well, you have to be careful with crafting, I think. I think crafting can be a double-edged sword in any game. I think a good example of this is Animal Crossing.
Yeah.
In OG Animal Crossing, like you had to just like wait and like buy things and go to other people's towns. Now you just like make all of your stuff.
Right.
And it's less exciting stuff too.
Well, that's why you put some restrictions, right? You don't have to put all of them. They may be able to create everything, but at least make it viable so you can create stuff. It would be great.
I think if you just limited it to Pokeballs and you kept it as some sort of apricorn type mechanic.
I'd say TMs too.
You'd have a limited amount of things.
You get a limited number of resources you can collect per day.
Yeah.
And then you can, unlike Animal Crossing where it's almost infinite.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Right.
Or like Minecraft. Like Pokemon doesn't need to be Minecraft or Animal Crossing.
Right. No, this is definitely not what we're going with this.
I'm asking for like an uber limited crafting thing.
Right.
Where you can go ahead, make Pokeballs that can do certain things, throw them, check them at the Pokemon, get cool effects. I am very excited for the new Pokeballs in general, though. But that's a different story for a different day. Yokai Watch has the same capture mechanics that they did in Dragon Warriors Monsters.
It's based on luck. And of course, you might say that Pokemon is also based on luck, but it's much less so than it is for these games where
it's controllable luck, right?
Like, yeah, exactly.
I like anything where I could control it based on the resources I'm willing to put into it. Instead of like, I fed this yokai something there. Now I've got a 5% chance it'll join me afterwards.
Yep.
I really hate that. And then you just keep redoing that over and over and over again. Anything where you can do it all in the same battle, I think is a much better mechanic than doing multiple battles to catch things.
Yeah.
The one thing that Pokemon got right very early on, I mean, Pokemon got a lot of things right, actually. That's one of the many things that they got right.
That was one of the major problems with the mystery dungeon that I had. Was like the recruitment mechanic.
That's the problem that a lot of us had with things like that. Like that's why mystery dungeon never took off, because of the recruitment mechanics like that.
Because it's like, oh yeah, you get a small percentage. It's like, oh, especially when you were going after a Mew that randomly spawned on one level. It's like, just. And
their combat mechanic for that game also is just randomness. You really had no control. It's like slots machine. Every time you had to fight, you just had to wish that it would land where you want it to land. It's just not fun. When you take away any sort of a strategy out of it, then it becomes just stale. And it just becomes slot machine at that point.
Exactly.
I don't find slots machine fun.
Some randomness is fine.
You have the randomness in like the capture calculation, right?
Yeah.
In Pokemon, and you've got the randomness in terms of like trying to find the Pokemon to solve. It's why I'm such a big fan of one-person encounters in Pokemon.
Yeah.
I really like feeling like I worked for it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that's just something to consider in that regard. But I mean, it's kind of the reason I'm happy that Sword and Shield went with like their hybrid overworld grass Pokemon.
Right.
Because I still wanted there to be that hunt, and I think that's part of the Pokemon experience. And if you take that out, you get dangerously close to something no bueno, right? I'm being completely honest. Like, I think that's something that you can get somewhere real bad real quick if you were to take out random encounters from Pokemon. I think you take out some of the magic. Pokemon's got like a certain amount of magic in the can, and I'm not entirely certain that Game Freak or TPCI knows what all of the magic is. I'm not sure that they've sat down and talked to people who know what the magic is. We see a lot of content creators like doing collaborations with the Pokemon Company, especially as of late.
Yeah.
And I don't think the Pokemon Company actually ever has like a two-way discourse. I honestly feel like they just use the content creator to publicize their latest product, never like getting feedback.
Oh, no.
That's one of the things that I worry about constantly. They get dangerously close to tearing down load-bearing walls in their house. That is the Pokemon game. I always worry about that. I get a little worried. just like a wee bit there, Pokemon. Just like a wee bit. It's still Pokemon. It's still fun. Other ones that I can remember are Robopon.
Monster Rancher. Let's not forget about Monster Rancher.
Monster Rancher was such a cool idea.
Yeah, it was.
And the anime wasn't half bad.
I'm so sad the re-releases of Monster Rancher didn't make it to the Switch over here, but at the same time, it's not the same not putting a disc into the PlayStation, right?
That is true.
Yes.
Selecting a disc from a menu is not the same thing.
Oh my god. Speaking of putting disc, also, do you guys remember the one for PSP? Do not remember, but they were barcodes. You would need to scan.
That was
barcodes.
a lot of things that did that.
Yeah, like a Tiger Electronics toy that did that.
Yes.
I had one of those at one point. I remember growing up with that. Monster in My Pocket or something.
It was something like that. Scanners, I guess.
Scanners is the one I had, yeah.
And then there was the PSP one, which I'm trying to remember the name, and I just do not recall. Yeah, I don't have that now. I'll get to you with the name of that game. But it has a weird game. You would but it was the same concept. You would scan barcodes and you could find different monsters.
That's surprising to hear on the PSP, just because
where are you going to scan it?
Yeah, I don't think it has the hardware capabilities of doing it.
Yeah.
Right. I don't recall then. Didn't it come, maybe it came with a camera?
I think you're thinking of scanners. The Tiger's
Maybe
Electronics.
it is scanners. No, wait. I found it. It is, it's called Invisimals.
Oh, that's different. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, Invisimals. It would come with a camera. Yeah, it was weird. Just weird.
I remember it. There are a lot of these. Okay. The last one came out in 2014.
That was incredibly not that long ago.
No. Wow, that is far more recent. I remember Robopon because I remember it being like a big deal in Nintendo Power because they were trying to sell it, and then bad.
So many bad ideas.
Pokemon shaped media in general like really hard. Like like obviously we have like this genre of monster collection games that spawned because of Pokemon. Also, Robopon had a Sun and Moon version before it was cool.
Right.
Robopon also was originally just like one game, and then when they transferred it over to the US, they split it into two versions, I think.
Right.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it was originally like one game, and they're just like, let's follow the Pokemon thing. There was a Robopon too.
There was.
Makes me sad. Oh wait, never mind. I got it backwards. There were multiple versions of Robopon in Japan, but then we only got one of the versions here in the US, but they just combined them all. It was weird. It was like poorly like not translated, but poorly transferred to the US, which I guess at the time was like a pretty big feat for Pokemon to accomplish as a game.
I was going to say, it probably was a rush job because they wanted the game out in the US as quick as possible.
I think not only our parents thought this, but also like the world thought that Pokemon was a fad that was going to disappear, and they wanted to cash in while they could.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know that Pokemon's a fad, mostly because the internet existed.
I think 25 years later, we can safely say it's not a fad.
I would say Pokemon came in and hit like a train when it did come in. It hit like a train, and then it was the advent of the internet age.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, honestly, once the internet happened, all nerdy things can become way bigger than anything that they possibly are. Because you can actually find like-minded people. Like, that was a big deal with, like, anime conventions and stuff. Like, anime conventions you don't really see to start pick up until the internet. And that's because other people are finding people that like to watch anime.
And they want to meet each other, hang out
exactly
for a weekend, and...
Yeah, without internet culture, we wouldn't have a lot of the things that we have now. And I credit internet culture to some extent to Pokemon. Yeah. Pokemon's success. To some extent. I mean, I think they have a good product, and I think they were very good about designing their characters.
And the marketing, they had an excellent marketing scheme. I mean, they released it alongside the anime and manga and all the things.
Not in Japan. In Japan, it was like a slow rollout, but...
Oh, no, no, I'm talking here in the US, yeah.
In the US, they're like, wham, bam, here's everything at once. It was very target. Like, I think the anime came out 3 weeks before the games came out in the US. So it's just enough time to build hypes, because this was still in a time before pre-orders. And it was just enough time to be like, oh, I really like this Pokemon thing. And then the kid goes to the store and they see, oh, hey, this Pokemon game's here. I want to try it. Because I saw Ash on TV with his Pikachu.
I still remember when I went to Toys R Us and I bought Pokemon Blue for the first time. I was so excited.
Toys R Us, where you had to go grab the little piece of paper out of the pricing thing and then take it up to
and then go to the
I think I bought mine at a Meijer.
I got mine for Christmas, so...
I don't even remember how it happened. I don't know why I chose it, because I don't think I've seen the TV show at that point.
I didn't.
I didn't see the TV show at that point. because it was on Kids WV, and like at that time in my life, I was 8 or 9. I was like super into Power Rangers and stuff. I mean, I still know a lot about Power Rangers now. And so like that wasn't on Kids WV, that was on like the Fox Kids one. Mm-hmm. And so I wasn't watching that. I was watching the Fox Kids like cartoon 2 hours after school instead of the Pokemon, or instead of the Kids WV one. The only way I can describe it is that I was just buying things based on the box art, which is something you did when you were a kid.
You do. It's like, oh, this looks cool.
Yeah, you just buy it based on the box art. I remember walking into Meijer, and I had just gotten a Game Boy Color like earlier that summer. That was my first video game system, and my first video game was Super Mario Brothers Deluxe. I get to say like I'm like an old school video game fan without being that old. It's a lot of fun to think about that. And then my second game, I literally went into the Meijer and I saw the blue turtle, and I'm like, that's pretty cool. I want that.
Yeah.
And so I bought that as my second video game ever. I did not understand how to save, how to progress, how to catch Pokemon.
I had to restart Pokemon Blue once because I couldn't figure out where to go from Celadon City.
I don't know how I didn't know it back in the day. I don't know how I didn't. It blows my mind. It absolutely blows my mind how little I understand. I've restarted it like 3 times because I thought there were multiple save files and stuff. Like, I didn't make it past Viridian City for the longest time.
On the road to Viridian City.
I made it to Celadon. I had no clue how to get into the rocket base, and I had no clue how to get into Saffron. So I restarted.
I remember it took me a while to beat that game, though. Like, it took me a really long time. I think I got the game in like September. I got it pretty close to when it came out, September or October.
Yeah.
And then I just remember it being like a whole summer of just like, I remember beating it like the summer after I got it, which is months. But I guess as a kid, I felt like I played a lot of video games, but I probably didn't. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I'm just like, oh, I feel like I played it forever. But it's like, I probably only played it like an hour every 2 days.
Yeah, because batteries were a thing.
Oh,
yeah.
I was still playing outside and stuff. I was a kid.
Right.
Before you bought the Wormlight, it was impossible to play the game at night in the car.
Good old Wormlight.
Oh, good old Wormlight. I've backlit those GBAs, but I want to buy a Wormlight just for the old time's sake, you know. Just put it on. just put on the Wormlight just so I could have the full experience. I remember the Wormlight.
Do they sell Wormlight lamps these days?
Oh my gosh. Okay, we're going to Google this, and this is how we're going to end the show. Wormlight lamp. Wormlight illumination LED lamps for Game Boy Color. I found it for the Game Boy Color, so I found the old school original Wormlight. It's not in the package. Oh no, it is. There it is. It's in the package.
How much?
$12.38. Not bad.
Okay.
Not bad. So that's fun. I don't know who's buying this, by the way. Like, who's on Amazon like, yes, I need a Wormlight. An actual lamp would be super cool, though. Right? Wormlight, like a desk lamp.
Oh my god, yes. Or ones, though, that you could, like, clank to the border of your bed. Such a read.
Okay, so I can't find these, so I think we just came up with the best business idea.
Right?
We're going to look into how to make a Wormlight.
A Wormlight lamp.
We're totally doing it.
For that.
I'll totally make one.
There's got to be a market, right?
There's definitely a market for this. There's definitely a market. We are going to take advantage of it. So I'm totally in. It's the same market of people that are like buying the Joy-Con shells to make it look like N64 controllers. But I think this is it for this nostalgia trip. This has been a fun conversation. I enjoyed this one.
It was.
We're going to go ahead and we're going to cut it here. And we're going to come right back at you guys after, well, no, not after anything. We're going to come right back at you guys with the Pokemon of the episode.
The episode.
To our Pokemon of the episode. Our Pokemon of the episode this week is National Dex number 826, Orbeetle, the 7-spot Pokemon.
What?
I hate this.
Entry from Shield is.
We're getting real specific here.
Says, if it were to utilize every last bit of its power, it could control the minds of every living being in its vicinity.
Funny how it says that, and its stats don't back that up.
Nope.
Base HP is 60. Okay, pretty bad. Base attack of...
It's a bug.
Base attack of 845. And you're just like, okay, so that means its special attack's pretty good. And so it's base defense 110. Okay. I see where this is going. Base special attack 80. Okay, pretty sad now. Base special defense 120. Base speed 90, so it's faster than a Lola.
That's not a bad speed.
That's not a bad speed. So. That's not a bad speed tier.
Not a bad speed at all.
I'll take 90. It's not like Gen 4 where like 95 was the base speed everywhere. 90's pretty good. I'll take 90. In the 7-spot Pokemon. Oh my gosh. What? Orbeetle is so weird and not great. It does have a G-Max though, and it has its own exclusive G-Max attack.
Mm-hmm.
And what is this G-Max attack called? I don't actually know.
I can pull that up real quick.
I have no idea what it's called.
Where is it? G-Max Gravitas.
So it does damage, but it also makes gravity happen, right?
Yeah, it activates gravity.
It activates. It's damage. It's damage dealing gravity, which it did have its gravity in general had like its time in the sun in VGC like 2016, I think.
Yeah. I used it. I think I won the PFTT with gravity.
I've used gravity before in back in like 2016 though, I think. A really long time ago.
Priority gravity with Sableye and then Blizzards with Kyurem White.
That sounds about right. Yeah, I think that's exactly how I used it.
Hypnosis with Gengar. It was a good time.
Mm-hmm. No, gravity is definitely fun and useful. So we've got a team for you today using this gravity shenanigans. 4 doubles. I might run this for funsies like the first week of the PFTT. And so let's get going with it. I guess I'll start with the top 2. We've got an Incineroar holding an Assault Vest doing Incineroar things with the ability Intimidate. It's got 252 HP, 124 defense, and 132 special defense. I'm not sure what that is exactly. Calc for it, but
it's just a bulky boy.
Reasons, yes. Yeah. Careful nature, Flare Blitz because you're an Incineroar, Darkest Lariat because again you're an Incineroar. And then you're running Snarl because you're an Incineroar. And also Fake Out because you're an Incineroar.
It's what you do. You're an Incineroar.
It's literally everything. You could swap in instead of Darkest Lariat, Parting Shot.
Yep.
Yep. Okay. Cool. We've made it an Incineroar. We also have Melodic, which has like a little bit of spice, but not a lot of spice. It's holding Leftover. It's got competitive because it's a Melodic to counteract other Incineroars. It's got 12 defense EVs, probably for some level 50 shenanigans. 252 special. This isn't maxed out HP or EVs at all.
I'll fix
the spread.
I don't know. I'll fix that later.
Because it's 12 defense, 252 special attack, 172
it's got 72. Speed. It's probably HP. It's probably the rest.
Probably the rest is an HP, I would imagine.
Right.
Yeah. It's Timid Nature with Muddy Water, Blizzard, Breaking Swipe, which is fun, and Protect. For those of you at home, Breaking Swipe hits both of your opponents in a doubles battle, and it lowers their attack by 1 stage, as well as does like a little bit of damage. It's a dragon-type attack, so watch out for fairies, but it's interesting.
It's sad against Ashen, but otherwise it works.
Yes. I'm waiting for us to get a meta where they let us use Mythicals. I think that would be fun. I want to use Marshadow.
Marshadow and Magirna?
Yes, those are the only 2 that will probably matter.
It's not Zarude.
It's not Zarude. It's not Zarude. It absolutely is not Zarude.
If it's a limited number of mythicals per team, it's not Zarude.
It's not Zarude. All right, tell us about the next 2, Sigma. I think this is the heart of the team.
All right, let's go with our poke of the episode first with Orbeetle's G-Max, holding the weakness policy and the Frisk ability because its abilities are all kind of weird and
bad.
Frisk is nice to have.
What are the other abilities? Let me one sec. I'm going to look it up. Other abilities are Swarm. The other one's actually not bad. Telepathy.
Telepathy is not bad on the right team.
Telepathy wouldn't be bad in this context.
Mm-hmm. But anyways, we've got max HP, 204 defense, and 52 special attack with a calm nature. So you're getting that plus special defense in your nature. So fun times. Your attacks are Future Sight, which I assume you're never actually clicking unless you're in G-Max.
Yes.
Struggle Bug, because Struggle Bug. Shadow Ball to hit probably Spectre if you can even survive its attack.
Without special defense investment, I don't know.
Right?
I don't know.
It's like
it is running a calm nature though. This is a weird spread. It's like calm with defense investment.
Yeah, it's a weird spread. And then you have Trick Room.
We want our Orbeetle to be able to do everything.
Yeah, you got Trick Room to counter their tailwinds. So that's fun. Cool Pokemon. We'll probably never
something.
see it again on Poke the Episode.
Absolutely.
And next up, we have a restricted mon in Groudon holding a Choice Scarf with the Drought ability, setting up that sun. It has 196 attack, 60 special defense, and 252 speed. I assume we're surviving something with that special defense spread. Jolly Nature, Precipice Blades, which get boosted accuracy thanks to gravity, thanks to Orbeetle. Bulldoze, probably if you lead with this and Charizard that Jushiro will talk about here in a second.
Yes.
Iron Tail, which I assume you're not clicking at all unless you go big with Groudon. And Rock Slide. Because
I didn't even know you'd one Iron Head. Or Iron Tail. You'd have to
I think it's just to go big and boost defenses, I assume.
That'd be the only thing. Because I can see there being two modes with this team. There's Orbeetle mode and then just full sun mode.
I could see you wanting to go big with Groudon and click Max Steel on a Xerneas.
That's about it. That's all
guess.
I can see. Because there's nothing else to handle Xerneas on this team, that's for sure.
To be fair, no one's running Xerneas either, so it's okay.
I'm happy about that.
I'm okay with that too. Zacian's everywhere, so you can't run a Xerneas. It's fine.
Yeah. You just run a
You know
Groudon.
who else is nowhere to be found? Charizard G-Max.
Yeah, we've never seen
the next
it.
one.
I don't even know what this Pokemon does.
I've never heard of Charizard being used in a competitive format. Tell me more.
Never heard of it. Yes, no, please. Life Orb, because we wouldn't put that on Charizard ever. With its hidden ability, Solar Power, its IV spread of 4 defense, 252 special attack, and 252 speed, because what else are you going to put on a Charizard? And its modest nature to boost that said special attack. And then its attacks are pretty basic. Heat Wave, Blast Burn, Hurricane, which gets that boost up by gravity if I'm not mistaken.
Boosted accuracy and boosted speed when you go big. Because I feel like one of the leads for this team is probably Groudon Charizard.
Mm-hmm.
You click Bulldoze on Groudon with the Scarf, lower their speed, and then Charizard goes first before the opponents and blows them out with max Wildfire. That's my guess.
Yeah, that's what I would expect too. But yes. So what's the last one, Jushiro?
The last one will be Rillaboom G-Max as well with Grassy Seed. It's Grassy Surge, it's the ability, and its EV spread 252 HP, 4 attack, 28 defense, 220 special defense, and 4 speed.
And obviously everybody knows what that spread's for, of course.
Obviously.
Obviously.
It's a very bulky Rillaboom.
/S, please /S, so nobody's just like, oh, Thatch, you think you're so much smarter than us. I have no idea what that spread's for.
I think it's just super bulky.
Yeah, the 28 defense is very specific, okay? The 28 defense is very specific.
It gets a +1 defense with the seed, too.
It does, yeah. It's still very specific.
Its Adamant Nature goes along with its 4 attacks, which are Grassy Glide, Acrobatics, Sword Stance, and Taunt.
Yeah, I mean, this looks like a fun team. I would definitely try it, just to try Orbeetle, honestly. No other reason but to try Orbeetle.
But it's the 7-spot Pokemon.
The 7-spot They're running out of classifications, aren't they? I'm clicking on something random.
Man, I don't know what Pokemon has against non-legendary alien Pokemon. It's like, give them good moves, give them good stats.
No.
LGM and Orbeetle just...
Okay, it's literally just Orbeetle. They gave a weird one, because everybody else is, reasonable.
Oh, I went back to Ledian to see how many spots it has. It's the 5-star Pokemon. So.
Oh, that's cute. Interesting. All right.
That means Orbeetle's 2 spots more.
All right, so that's it for the Pokemon of the episode. If you want to use the team, it'll be on the Discord server for you guys to try out. We are going to go ahead and take it on over to the mailbag.
It's mail time! Send in your emails! Mail!
And welcome to the mailbag. The mailbag is part of the show where we read your emails on the show. You can email us at puclpodcast@gmail.com. We typically have a prompt for you guys. It's in the show notes if it's not mentioned on the show. We do have a prompt for you for next week. But this past week, we asked you guys what your what if was. What was one thing that you might want to change about the Pokemon franchise or the Pokemon games as a whole? And we got some good responses, and I'm very excited to read them. But as always, this segment is brought to you by the energy drink Green Tauros, the energy drink that gives you hooves.
Hooves.
And as always, we will give out the Green Tauros badge to anybody we think wrote a really good email. turns your name green, and you get access to the Green Toros Club chat, where you get to hang out with all of your other green named fellows until the end of the year. So, without further ado, we got a new one, I think, this week from Kester. So we're going to kick it off with Kester.
All right. Hello there, Puckle hosts. I decided to write it this week in response to the prompt. I think there are some interesting possibilities to be explored by asking, what if Megas remained the only gimmick in Gen 7 and Gen 8? I'm excited.
That would have been a great universe to live in.
I wish we were in that universe right now.
Right.
To start with, I think some Pokemon that didn't get a chance to shine in Gen 7 could have some excellent Megas. Perhaps Mega Minior could have been a larger, more detailed asteroid.
A comet.
With some smaller ones orbiting it. Or Mega Lurantis with larger scythes, bigger wings, and longer, more mantis-like body to make it more threatening.
I'm still sad that I didn't get that Pegasus Rapidash Mega Evolution that I wanted.
I think Galarian Rapidash is close-ish. I do like the idea of some Gen 7 Pokemon getting Mega Love, though.
Yeah.
Because a lot of them aren't good. And mostly because their speed stats are garbage, like absolute poop.
Either their speed stats are garbage, they're a Bombi, or they're legendary.
Yeah.
It's one of the three.
Yeah, like their speed stats are absolutely bad, and I would love to see some of them get a little bit more love in that regard.
Mm-hmm.
But that's just me. That's just me.
I agree. As for Gen 8, a lot of the Gigantamax forms would work fairly well as Megas, like Toxtricity or Lapras. As for any new Mega for Gen 8 Pokemon, I think Dragapult embracing its Stealth Bomber inspiration even further could be interesting, and a Mega for Grapploct, one of my favorite Gen 8 designs, could have made it much more useful, and perhaps even given it a sorely needed second typing.
Yeah, I was just gonna say exactly that.
He's literally speaking to Sigma's theories. He's just like, these should just be Megas.
They should be.
It. I absolutely agree with you. I think they should just be Megas.
I feel so bad for Grapploct.
I feel bad for a lot of Gen 8 Pokemon.
Pokemon.
A lot of Gen 8 Pokemon got the shaft, but I don't know that there's any Gen 8 Pokemon that I'm upset with.
No, I'm happy with their designs. They're just...
It's the usefulness that's the problem.
At the bottom, like, I'm just like, this is an average Pokemon. I don't think any of them are below average.
Yeah.
Looking at you, monkeys.
Despite what people try to say about Ice-Q, it's great.
I think Ice-Q's great. Why would you have a problem with Ice-Q?
I hear people complaining all the time that it's just a penguin.
Well,
Yeah, but it's an adorable penguin with an ice block on its head.
Right? I don't understand the Ice-Q hate I've seen.
What's wrong with Piplup's just a penguin? I'm very confused.
I am very confused, yeah.
I mean, I love apples too. The apples are great.
I don't. You can't name one Pokemon from Gen 8 that I'm like, this is a bad Pokemon design.
Yeah.
No, they're all solid. Also, in a similar matter to Gen 6, more older Pokemon could have received Megas. They might finally come up with an idea for Flygon. And there are plenty of other older Pokemon that could use a Mega Boost, like Exploud or Cryogonal.
I agree with everything but the Flygon thing, because I'm gonna have a hot take and say I do not understand the Flygon love.
It's such a cool design.
It's a decent design, but I don't understand. I don't care that much. I'm not that attached to Flygon.
People like Flygon.
Yeah, I don't understand. That's what I'm saying, Jushiro. I don't understand why they do. Like, it's all cool because everybody has their favorite Pokemon, but people rallying behind it, I just don't get. I do agree that Salamence shouldn't have gotten the Mega Evolution, and if they were going to give that slot to somebody, it should have gone to somebody else like Flygon, but
yeah,
because Salamence with the Mega Evolution is dumb.
I think Salamence is fine. I think giving it Aerialate as an ability was dumb.
Well, that's too late now. We're screwed.
Yeah.
It's been done.
It's already done. All right. I think, did we finish it?
I think I have the last line. Anyways, thank you for taking the time to read this email. I hope you have a nice weekend, Kester.
We are having a nice weekend. Jushiro got coffee.
Yes.
All right. Well, thank you for that, Kester. Our next one is going to be from Sleeves. Hello, it's been so long. It feels so nice to be sending in an email again. I found the latest episode to be quite an interesting conversation. I love that it also spiraled off into other interesting points about Pokemon powers. I took a look at some Pokemon abilities that I think would be really interesting to talk about. Whimsicott mentioned Pokemon with Drizzle like Kyogre and Pelipper, but what about Pokemon like Psyduck with Cloud9? It alternatively removes all effects of weather upon being sent in. How do you think that works? I think that works by Psyduck using its psychic powers to stop the weather.
Yeah.
Done.
I can see Psyduck's eyes glowing and the clouds just parting in the sky.
What I'm thinking. It hates the weather and it's just like, no, not today.
Exactly.
Thatch mentioned that some, if not all abilities might be triggered by the Pokemon when it's in battle. Do you think that it's one of them? Yes, I guess I just answered that. What if you send out Psyduck to play in the rain, but it suddenly vanishes? Well, then Psyduck doesn't want it to rain.
Exactly.
Does Cloud9 remove the weather or remove effects of the weather? So it's like raining still, but no one feels it?
That's a good question. Let's look this up real quick. Let's get real time fact check.
So it's like raining, but it's actually like an illusion of rain?
It just negates the weather effects.
So it turns it into an illusion.
Well, no, it's still raining, but it's an illusion that you think you're not being hit by it.
So it's basically...
You can still get hyperthermia.
It's basically affecting the Pokemons then. It's not the weather that it's affecting. It's affecting the opponent.
No, it's making you think you're not getting wet. That's what it is.
Right.
It's more of a state of mind than anything else.
Yeah.
That's for Cloud9.
Yep.
Okay, we fixed it. What about Pokemon like Litwick or Volcarona with Flame Body? Does this make them perpetually burning to the touch? The obvious answer may seem like yes, but it doesn't that mean you wouldn't be able to pet them? I don't know about you, but I want to feel the fuzziness of a Volcarona without getting my hand burnt.
Oh, do you remember Pokemon Ami, where you'd touch a Pokemon and your hand would freeze if it was made of ice?
I do remember that. I want to rather refer to the anime.
I was just going to say that.
I hate referring to the anime for like how anything works in the Pokemon world because it's obvious that the anime is its own world sometimes. But like there's that Ponyta episode. It's got Flame Body.
Ponyta episode.
And it's able to control if its flame burns a person or not.
Exactly. So I'm going to go with that logic. That's my headcanon. I'm really glad I wrote this email. I've taken a break from this to focus on my schoolwork a bit more, but now I'm ready to hopefully write in more regularly again. Don't think I've turned my back on the best Pokemon community ever. Oh, thank you. Trainer Sleeves. Well, thank you, Sleeves.
Thank you.
All right, so one more to go today, and it's going to be from Tia. Tia's gotten so many emails in a row, but she's written very good ones, so...
Quality always beats everything else.
And paragraph breaks. We like paragraph
God, I love them. Yes. it's perfect. Okay. Hey, Thatch, R Sigma, and Jushiro. It's Tia again. I also have made broken Pokemon based on Loki and Thor, but it's as quite long, I'm not sure where to drop them. Both features move base transformations. Back to topic. It's rare that topics makes me send consecutive emails, but here we are. This week's topic was just so fresh. When I read the title, I thought it was something like, what people in real life have Pokemon abilities? And I was thinking about how my old retail job, my manager had pressure, which made me become exhausted at work faster and struggle every time. I love that, actually. I freaking love that.
Stop making it hit so close to home.
Right? We're making the joke the other day where I think it was with Savilo on the podcast who was saying priorities, right? Like, oh, what if canceling priorities, you just wouldn't get priority mail. But anyway, also, the Karens that came into my retail store had Intimidate because I know all of them cut my manager's attack stat by half. That's fantastic.
Oh my god.
You could also say they had Roar and they would switch you to the manager. Anyway. But the topic was what if scenarios in the Pokemon world. So here we are. My what if scenario is, what if an evil team or new legendary Pokemon sent out a wave across the region, altering the behavior of wild Pokemon? This makes the wild Pokemon invade towns and cities. Then I thought it would be a great start to a tower defense game. The wild Pokemon would invade the towns and the players would use the 3 starters to defend the town. Moving on to different cities and towns would have you add a gym leader Pokemon. Gym badges would be given as enhancements, which lets you gain new passives on Pokemon, like in the usual games. Pokemon level through battles, and upon evolution, they receive a new move. If Pokemon don't evolve, then they receive 1 or 2 level up moves. That's a good idea. I like that. A Pokemon tower defense is not bad.
I like the idea of just like inserting that into a Pokemon game, just like inserting some kind of interaction.
Right. In fact, I think Legends Arceus would be a great platform for this.
The closer you can get me to playing the Pokemon games and making it the anime is better. Like, I'll be completely honest. Like, that's all it takes for me.
Yep.
I think Sword and Shield did a good job of that to some extent. Like, they're on the right track with like the gym challenge things they had in some of them. Yeah.
And the gym leaders are actually almost all of them are very memorable and great characters.
I thought Gen 8's gyms were good.
Yeah, I remember the gym leaders from Gen 8 more than I remember the gym leaders from Gen 6, so I'll second that.
Yes. And ironically, the only one that I can remember at this point is Ramos.
We only know Ramos because we've made it a meme. That's
exactly,
the only reason we know
we
it.
made
That's
it a
the
meme.
only reason we know him.
And ironically, now it's the only one I remember.
It's the only one.
It keeps going. It says there could be flying types, anti-air units, teleporters, etc., etc. But I haven't thought that far. I mean, you went pretty far. But for example, if this was in Kanto, Squirtle would have a long-range water gun, Charmander would use a short-range Ember, and Bulbasaur would have to be able to hold big units in place with Vine Whip. Brock could give a Geodude that acts like a frontline unit that punches and defends. Misty would give you a Staryu that circles around the edge, etc., etc. That's all from me this week, but to end, I have a question for Thatch. Was the accident burn on Bossifus the reason that the opening theme got cut?
So did I forget to put the opening theme in last week's episode? And no, this is how I find out, by the way. Like, I read this email this morning. I was like, did I forget to do that?
No, I think they realized that the old one versus the one that was remixed.
Oh, okay.
It was shortened and remixed.
It was just shortened because it was a minute long. That's so bad for a podcast.
Right.
Name another podcast that you listen to that has a minute-long intro song.
She ends up saying, I was on that episode and I felt so bad. That was awkward even to hear.
I still laugh at that. That was hilarious.
Are we talking about episode 300 where he didn't vet any of the emails like I told him to and he ended up getting burned?
I remember being in the live chat saying, why didn't you vet these? You had the control of that.
He did. I literally told him, I'm like, hey, you should vet these emails before you read them. He's like, no, I'm just going to do it live.
Let's do it live.
And then all of them were just burning him. And it's like, yep, that's on you. All right. So thank you for that. So Green Taurus badge. So Tia already has it. So it's either sleeves or Kester. I don't have a preference.
I'm fine with either.
I thought both were good.
Solid. Yeah, both were good.
Well, we have to choose, unfortunately, because if not, somebody will yell at me.
If you have to choose.
I want to turn a name green, so I'm willing to go with sleeves.
Sleeves! Done! Sleeves! Yay! You win the Green Taurus badge. We're going to turn your name green. All right. So if you want to keep up with Puckle throughout the week, you can send us an email next week at puclpodcast@gmail.com, letting us know what your favorite Pokemon clone / not Pokemon game is.
Yep.
At puclpodcast@gmail.com. I'm very excited to hear this. You can also, of course, help keep up with the show by going over to the Discord server and just hanging out with us. You can go ahead and listen over Puckle Plus to some of the other shows that we have going on. You can, of course, go ahead and follow us on social media over at Twitter, Facebook, Tumblr, and Instagram. You can also watch our YouTube videos at youtube.com/Puckle Podcast. We've got some of the Soul Silver stuff recorded. I just need to get it uploaded so that we can edit it together. And then we also have our Twitch at twitch.tv/ThePuckle Podcast, where I'll be streaming on Tuesdays some Pokemon Platinum, and I'm gonna see if I can find a ROM for Dragon Warriors Monsters 2.
A nice bonus stream.
Bonus stream. I'm gonna see. I'm curious. I want to see if I can make it happen.
Yeah.
And then Let's see. What else do I usually say here? You can support the show by going over to Twitch, dropping a Twitch Prime subscription, or you could always go over to our Patreon at patreon.com/PUCLPodcast, where we will be giving out Pokemon, giving access to the breeder bot, stuff like that. I think April, we're going to do a shift of some of the tiers and what they get, so keep an eye out for that. But on that note, I think that's everything I wanted to say. So I have been Trainer Thatch.
Some say I've been Jushiro.
And I've been R Sigma.
And here in the Lavender Town Radio Tower, it's closing time.